Have you ever had somebody make a comment that was just so utterly stupid that it left you totally perplexed? Something I want to get into, so let's get to it. How you doing, guys? I have a rare moment to myself, so I thought I'd pop on out here. I have been working some insane hours over the last 2 months with no time off, which I'm normally fine with. But after a while, I notice I get touchy over the smallest things. This is what happened to me last week. I had just gotten finished, and I can't remember even what day it was. I had gotten finished with a 15-hour workday, and I came home. Now I like to sit down outside and unwind. I got a notification Asher was having a live stream, which kind of surprised me because only about 2 days before that, Asher had undergone surgery. I figured the live stream was about the documentary, which I've been waiting for some information on. So, okay, I turned it on and I'm watching it. I wasn't into it for, I think, by about 45 minutes when I hear my nosy neighbor off to the side, "What you doing?" Why is it that when people see you sitting outside, they think you want their company, even though I'm focused on my device? Well, he's walking over. I could see him through my peripherals. So I'm just watching a live stream. I figured he would take the hint and say, "Oh, okay, you have a good one," and walk away. No. He sits his fat ass down and starts talking. Now, I'm into this live stream, and I'm kind of focused. I turn the volume down because I kind of like to keep things to myself. "Oh, what's the live stream about?" "I don't think it'd be anything you'd be interested in," I said. "No, really, what's it about?" Well, I excused myself on the live stream. I figured I'll have to catch the rest of this later because he's not going to shut up. So I proceeded to tell him about the upcoming documentary on Vice. Everything I was saying, I could tell by that blank look on his face that he was not comprehending it. Everything I was saying was going over his head, and I'm thinking, why am I even telling him this? Because he's not getting the gist of it. Well, he starts nodding. "So what do you think?" "About what?" He says, "About the documentary. Is it going to be a sham, or is it going to be any good?" Or I says, "No, I think it'll hit the nail on the head." And he started nodding. And he finally says, "Well, what are the people in it? Where do they come from?" I says, "Well, they're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that are telling their story on the documentary." So he looks at me and he makes the stupidest comment. He says, "Well, how much money will they be making from this documentary?" I says, "Dude, it's a documentary. It's not about the money. It's about getting the information out to the public." And he starts shaking his head. "No, that's stupid. If it was me, I wouldn't do that documentary unless somebody was paying me." I says, "Well, nobody's asked you to do the documentary, did they?" Well, I'm pretending to be on my device again, hoping he'd get the hint and get up and leave. And he starts talking about the XJWs on YouTube, because he knows I have a channel, which is a waste of time telling him about, because again, he doesn't comprehend it. And he goes, "Did you ever think that if you former Jehovah's Witnesses would leave them alone, that the Jehovah's Witnesses would go away?" That left me dumbfounded for an answer. I had never heard anything so stupid in my life. And I said, "It's not about them going away. It's about exposing their crimes." And finally, I stopped. I realized that it's a pointless waste of time. And he wasn't getting it anyways. So finally, he wouldn't stop talking, and I wanted him to go. And he says, "You know what it must be like for a college graduate to sit in on a third grade math class?" And he goes, "What?" And I says, "Your conversation." Because that was the stupidest comment I've ever heard. Well, he gets up and he's furious. And I figured the one thing I would say that would set him off, "Son, it's not all about you." Well, that did set him off. And he turned around, he stormed off, which was a good thing. I noticed over the course of the night that I was actually getting angrier and angrier and angrier to the point I wanted to go out and hunt his ass down. But I realized it would be pointless because he wasn't getting it. And for the reason being, he is a very self-centered person. And I think we all know self-centered people. For the most part, conversation with them is a waste of time. Let's face it, we've all had conversations with people. When you're conversing with somebody, you're focused on that individual. See, conversations give and take. With a self-centered person, it's totally different. See, all they're interested in is themselves and what interests them. See, their conversation doesn't go beyond their own understanding. They don't focus on the people they're talking to. They focus on what they can get out of it, and they talk about themselves. This is why conversations like with this idiot and others I've had is sheerly about them. You will hear the same redundant stories over and over and over. And even if you're talking about something that's within your understanding or something that's in your interest, they will somehow hijack the conversation and take it in a direction that you had no intention of going. Basically, they don't understand much. They're not very intelligent people. So their conversations relay it. I mean, this is very stupid. So it's even pointless to do so. The reason they seek out certain people, now they come over under the guise of friendship in a very insulting way. Basically, they're very jealous of the people they're dealing with. I had a Bible instructor who was much the same way. He was very self-centered. His conversation never went beyond his own interest or his opinion about everything. When you heard one of his conversations, you heard all of it. And this is the way self-centered people are. But there are certain people they target that they're very jealous of. And you'll notice this through their jokes, through their humor. They'll put it in the guise of humor as a way to insult you. And then laugh about it and think it's a joke. But this is actually how they really feel about you. Something about you may set them off. Something about you they don't like. Basically, these people have no outside interest other than themselves. They do believe that it's all about them. And people like this never grow. It doesn't matter what their job is. It doesn't matter the level of education. They are very stupid people. And I've found over the years, basically trying to explain anything to these idiots is basically throwing pearls to swine because they're not getting it and they never will. The fact that you may have outside interests that don't specifically involve you, that you're out defending somebody else or backing somebody else, goes beyond their realm of understanding because they will help nobody but themselves. And on the rare occasion that they do help somebody out, it's only for what they can get from it after. They will do things for you only to hold it against you after. Well, look what I did for you. And basically you're saying, well, I didn't ask you to. How many times his idiot neighbor has given me things that I really didn't want, and he got upset because he saw it in my trash afterwards? I don't need it. I didn't ask for it. But this is not the first run-in I've had with this person, and I realize, yes, he is a human blockhead. He's got the IQ of a block of wood. But he's a very jealous person, very negative about everybody around him. And I've noticed that if his conversation isn't redundant, the things he's already told me, he's usually bashing other people. Thing is, he gets very offended when he'll tell you a story he's already told you, and I'd be like, dude, you've already told me this. And then he'll continue to talk. But their whole deal is the only way they can feel better about themselves is by taking you, or trying to take you down a notch, which is only temporary because although it may bother you for a little bit, you'll get over it. See, they're stuck with themselves. They will always be that miserable, unhappy person while you're moving on with life. You have a life. They don't, and they're very jealous of that. They don't know how to get out of their shell. They don't know how to mold with humanity because they don't like anybody. Hell, they don't even like themselves. So basically, they want you to feel terrible about yourself. That basically is all I wanted to bring to your attention, guys. I think we all know people like this. And the best thing to do is avoid people like this, because their conversation goes nowhere. And it can be dangerous. It can take a number on you if you don't see it coming. Because after a while, you will. After one or two conversations, you basically got all they have. But the best thing to do is not to offer too much conversation, because information with these people is a weapon, because they will kind of twist things that will get under your skin. The best thing to do, keep conversation light. Don't say a whole lot. And they will eventually go away frustrated. Anyways, guys, like I said, I'm very, very, very tired. I just wanted to get this video out. For anybody who wants information, if they have not seen the documentary, you can get a hold of either Chessa or Mannion, or you can get a hold of Asher, because they've made arrangements to where everybody can see the documentary. I've already seen it, and I'm not going to give any spoilers out, but it did hit the nail on the head. It was a very good documentary. A lot of time put into it. Anyways, guys, you have a good day. I will be talking to you soon. If it takes me a little time to respond to your comments, it's only because I'm probably working. I will talk to you soon. You guys have a good day.